think it's like 2 more exits or something like that. But it's like nothing there yet.
Yeah.
So probably, yeah.
Once you get
So
to the point
I
where there's
say
nothing there, you
Brighton.
keep going and then you'll get there.
Yeah, and I say Brighton because most people know we're Brighton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No,
But we're farther. We're a little farther.
Half an hour farther.
Half an hour, okay. Okay, we're gonna start. Welcome to Canciones de Domingo with Sylvia on KUHS and Berredian TV station. And welcome, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
You guys hear those voices and that talent? Well, that is Bailey Elora and Alfredo Zamora, right? Yes, okay. I didn't forget it. That are with us this morning, like you guys are seeing. I mean, it's a guitarist and a singer, and she's a singer. Do you also play?
I don't. I'm trying, failing at it, but no.
It's hard, huh?
Yes.
With trying to play an instrument. I kind of mess around with them, but not really like good at it at all. But he is. So thank you so much for coming. We started the show a little bit late, well, the interview, because they do this at their church, so they had to get everything ready, you know, before they came. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. And muy buenos días, gracias por estarnos acompañando en Canciones de Domingo con Silvia por KUHS de mi radio y televisión. Y como vieron, aquí tenemos a los talentosos Alfredo Zamora y Bailey Elora que nos acaban de cantar. Y una de las cosas que estamos viendo también es que están tratando de hacer las canciones en español e inglés. Están combinando los dos idiomas, así que vamos a hablar un poquito de eso en un momento. But So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh gosh, that is always the worst question. I hate talking about myself.
I know the feeling. I'm pretty much the
I
same
know.
way. Yes.
We do this enough. I should be used to it by now. But well, I guess I'll start. I'm 20. I've been doing music and stuff since I was. We're gonna go with 14-ish.
Okay.
And then we've been in a band together for 2.5 years now.
Oh wow.
It's hard to keep
Yeah.
track because with like the quarantine and this year, we're like this year doesn't count. But then you're like, you know,
Well, let's count it and yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's been about 2 years. We started off as a duet thing, which is like what we're doing right now.
Uh-huh.
But we have a full band now. But they're obviously not here.
Yeah.
Did you guys play last night?
Did, what?
No.
No.
you guys
No.
we-
played? No. Okay.
We have practices on Saturdays.
We
but that's
practice
about
on
it.
Saturdays, but we normally do that in the mornings, and then sometimes we have performances, but we haven't had one for a while because of the craziness of the world.
The events getting canceled and all that stuff, right? Yeah, I know the feeling. But is anything changing for you guys as far as like with the COVID? I mean, I know there's some events that are actually happening, but just with less people or with some restrictions. Is anything changing like that for you guys?
We're going to be putting on an online concert, so that's probably the only thing that changed. Basically, everybody in the band is an was an essential worker except me. So I was the only one that got isolated by myself. So they'd all been like out in the world, and then like after like 2 months of self quarantine, I was like, hey, what's up?
I'm
Doing
here.
band practice again.
So you had a lot of time to practice on
Yes.
your own. I mean, like singing and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I wrote a lot of music.
Oh, that's
We
pretty
actually wrote a song over Zoom together
Yeah,
during
yeah,
that,
was-
which was
It
interesting.
was interesting. It was weird. It was really hard. But we managed to work something out, and we got a lot of writing done over this
Yeah.
quarantine and kind of break that the world gave everybody.
Yes.
We wrote a lot.
So you guys have a lot of original music
Mhm.
just within your band and yourselves. of
Yeah.
course. Oh wow, that is pretty nice. Usually you don't see that now because a lot of people don't want to risk it. Like they don't want
Mhm.
to like, oh, I don't think my composition is that good, or they just want to just sing covers all the time, which. I know you guys sound like that Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Shallow, that is so beautiful. Congratulations. That's one of the videos that you dad sent to me, and I thought it was just really, really beautiful. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you guys' plans once quarantine is over?
Oh goodness.
I would say I want to play a live show.
Yeah.
I miss it. I miss the
with
crowd.
people.
I miss the energy. That's definitely one of the first things we'll look at.
Yeah.
Right now we're working on those songs we told you we were writing about,
And then
and
the online concert we're planning. Those are kind
yeah.
of it.
it's
Do
kind
you
of it
have
right now.
a
yeah.
date for the concert?
Yeah, so we're gonna be doing a live stream concert November 21st.
November 21st.
And so it's a 100% give back show for Youth on Record. So while it is free to watch, we're encouraging people to donate
Okay.
in order to help Youth on Record. Because normally we like to do these concerts in person. Like last year we did it in person, but obviously this year's changed a bit. So we decided we're gonna try and hop on that online bandwagon and see how it goes.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, if you guys know, most of the ones that are working on the entertainment industry, like myself, you know, events got canceled, and that's pretty much what we do. You know, so if there's no events, like there's no place that we can sing, we can introduce. There's none of that stuff. So a lot of the artists are doing online mini concerts. They're doing some type of event online, so that way they can you know, get donations, that they can get any helps. I know a lot of people there are charging to watch it, but like you said, yours is free. It's just, you know, encouraging people to donate,
Yeah.
right? So that's not if you are asking yourself how can you support the artists nowadays, this is the way to do it. You know, donate. Or try to download their music, pay for the music, of course, and because that's the only way right now that people are making money when they're in the entertainment industry. So we really appreciate you guys' help with that. Anything that you want to tell them about that?
Probably a little bit. Just Youth on Record, which is who we're raising the money for. They help youth. help me describe this. You're better at it than I am.
So what Youth on Record is, they're a nonprofit organization. Basically, they provide a safe space and a studio for young people to go and record, and just for a place for them to be, other than somewhere else. So it's this space where people can go and just create their own music, their own sound, and they're great. I mean, they have lessons. I know they work with schools and different districts to offer credits and stuff, and help kids also graduate and stuff from high school. So they do quite a lot. I was a part of their program when I was in high school. That's how I kind of started getting into music professionally, was through them. So yeah, they're great. They just offer a space for you to start up.
Yeah, I found them, my uncle was friends with a few of the teachers that were there, and so I ended up going to Open Lab, because I didn't go to a Denver public school, so I wasn't able to do classes, but I was able to go to Open Lab, and that is a big part of how I'm more open as an artist today, because I used to have insane stage fright, and so they've kind of helped.
Well, that's pretty. I never actually heard of this organization, so that is pretty good, because there's a lot of kids out there that they don't know exactly how to start, or I mean, they don't have the money. Like sometimes they have the talent and they don't have the money to rent a studio. It is right now very expensive.
Oh, yes.
And do they have instruments in there and everything, so that way they
They've
can?
got instruments, computers. They've got all the software for what is it?
To record.
That.
They use Ableton, and it's pretty professional stuff. They have some pretty good stuff there, and so if you have the talent and the drive.
They employ local Denver artists to teach.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's one of the good things. There's so many people, like I said, especially kids right now. One of their escapes is pretty much like the music. So when you have that, but you don't know where to go, it is kind of hard to know somebody that knows this. Like, it's the first time I heard about the organization. Like, how long has it been going around?
I have no idea.
Gosh.
Do you know how long?
10 years, and I never heard of it. But that is one of the wonderful things about knowing people, you know, like you guys come in here, now you mentioned that, now you guys know if you ever have the drive and the talent, but you just don't know how to actually make it work, or how to, or you don't know anybody that can help you with that, this is a great place. Where is it located at?
It's 10th and Osage. It's in Denver.
Denver, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't drive, so I'm not very good with addresses.
Why you don't drive? You just don't like it?
It scares me. I just barely got my permit.
I hate driving too.
I got my permit the day I got it, and my mom was like, "Okay, you want to drive home?" And I was like, "No."
No, I just did it for the permit. That's it. But I am with you. I especially traffic and all that, you know, like causes me a lot of stress. So I hate driving too. And if you can avoid it, good. You know, you get your daddy, you get him, pick me up. You know, let's go to the gig. But you know, I'm not driving. But that's the I know when you don't drive, you don't really memorize where you're going. And, you know, you just there on your cell phone. Over here, okay, and we get out of the car. But well, that's pretty good. So that's one of the things, you know, that we found out today about this organization. That, you know, hopefully a lot of people that are watching us, they take advantage of that they're here in Denver. And well, they're watching us all over the world right now. So there's a lot of people that come from New Mexico to do things in here, and we have a lot of actually talent in New Mexico that they come with events and stuff like that. And now you guys know, you know, there's a place here in Denver that you guys can stop by and check it out. So so what else you guys have going on, like for the rest of, like, let's say this year, like 3 more months or so?
Hopefully recording.
Yes.
Yeah. We got all that new music, and none of it is recorded.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to work on recording them and releasing them.
Yeah.
Is really what's going on right now. I think with the studio time and then working on this live internet concert, we have our hands full for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Mostly,
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and then since COVID kind of shut down a lot of the performance opportunities, there's not as many. So it kind of just, our only option is to work on the music, which is kind of nice, because sometimes we procrastinate it and we're like, we'll wait on it, and then it's like, a year later and we still don't have it recorded.
Yes, I know that's why a lot of times when they say, well, this COVID, you know, it happened for a reason. For like many artists, they were actually pushed to finish stuff that they're being procrastinating on. And like you guys said, you know, just being able to write and you know, do this music. And is it gonna be a full album probably?
No, it'll be a few singles. Is what it looks like.
Yeah. It's so expensive to do an album, and it's so much easier to just do singles because you can have a different sound for every song. Whereas like with album, you have to have like kind of a cohesive feel to it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And that way, if you do singles, you can be releasing stuff all the time, and so you stay a little more relevant.
Instead of waiting until everything is finished.
Right.
Yeah, and then by that point, we hate everything.
It's like, you know, remember that first song that we liked? I think we just scratched it out.
That happens. I mean, you work on the song for a really long time. I mean, from when you're first starting to develop it, and it's just an idea, towards like the final product, it's a lot of hours, and a lot of the time, sometimes you're just like, you know what, I'm done with this.
We have a song from our most recent EP, and like we all hate to play it because we're just like so tired of it. And it's like it's a great song, but we're like, no.
I mean, I think you fall in love with the song again when you play it live and you see the crowd interaction again, and that's like awesome. But yeah, it gets.
But
right now, right now we're like, do we really have to run through that right now?
Well, it's just like if we ask Luis Fonsi, sing Despacito again, right?
Oh gosh.
I mean,
I think he will hate us right now if we ask him that. But, you know, I think he'll love that reaction of the people, you know, him singing it. So that is so cool. But how did you guys met?
We met through Youth on Record.
Yeah. He was in a band, I was in a band, and then we were no longer in bands. And I think it was my dad messaged him and was like, hey, you guys should work together. Didn't tell me anything about it. And then he's like, you're going to work with Freddie.
Yeah, I think it was all through Dave. When I was in my other band, he would come up to me all the time and be like, hey, you need to work with Bailey. And I was like, yeah, for sure. You know, we'll write it down. We'll set a date.
We'll pencil it down.
And then we never did. We never, until, you know, he found out I wasn't in a band. And he actually invited me for one of the shows that they were putting on.
Oh, gosh, yeah. So we were doing a show, and I needed someone to play with me. And I think we had like a week to practice it. All of our songs to do it, and then we did it, and we totally bombed it. It was awful.
He's like,
it was.
And they were recording it too, and we were like, awesome.
It was a rough performance. It was definitely.
It was a cool venue though.
It was a really cool venue. And like.
Was it here in?
Yeah, it's called Lumonics.
I don't think I heard of it.
Yeah, it's super cool. One of our friends, Barry, is the one that we're in contact with for, and it's beautiful. They have all this really cool lighting inside, and it's really cool when you have to take off your shoes to enter the place.
Oh wow!
So it's a real chill place to play.
Yeah, it's very chill.
And the acoustics are
amazing.
amazing.
Yeah, the acoustics are really good, but yeah, I mean. We did good. The crowd loved it. You know, everybody came out to us. But as musicians, you know, you notice it. You're like, damn, we messed up a lot.
Yeah.
You know,
he forgot his verse, so I had to sing his verse with me, and then I forgot mine, so you had to sing mine with me.
So like,
it worked.
I mean, we covered for each other.
It worked, but
it wasn't what was planned.
But one of the good things about being an artist and doing live, you know, events, is that you have to improv a lot. You know, a lot of people that they don't do that. Once they get to do it, they get so afraid and they froze because they don't know what to do in those cases. So that's one of the good things that you guys are able to, you know, fill in with each other and have the chemistry. Exactly. And that's why, like, a lot of people, when they said, oh, this job is so easy, you know, you just get behind a microphone and that's it. No, that's not it. It has a lot to do with, you know, your experience, how you deal with improvs and things that happens. Because being live, anything can happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, and there's so much that goes into it. My friends for a long time, they're like, well, like, they're like, you have, like, the easiest job ever. And I was like, you don't understand what I do? And they're like, you just go and sing. And I was like, okay, but... So you have to prep your voice, you have to make sure that you have everything set, you have to be able to know if there's certain songs you shouldn't say, like sing or different things. You have to do research on where you're at so you know what the best thing will be for crowd-wise. Like there's a lot that goes into it. And everyone's like, no, you just sing, right? No.
No.
She definitely doesn't. I mean, she takes care of a lot of the background stuff, like dealing with like the venue and
Well,
like.
I would like to take credit for that, but it's mainly my dadager.
Well, between her and Dave, they take care of all that stuff, and it's easy for the musicians, for us, because we come in, we can set up, and we're just totally focused on the music.
Yeah, you just have that.
And we
job.
don't have all those distractions. So
Yes.
I mean, she definitely helps with a lot of that stuff that I guess a lot of people don't see.
Yeah.
Because I mean, on stage, she is just up there singing.
Yeah, that's
what
what
it
the
looks like
people
to people,
see.
but,
Exactly.
she does a lot.
Well, I mean, like our EP release
They do a
show,
lot.
that one, like, no one really knows it, but like, not even the other bands that we had brought onto the show knew. Like, it was kind of a mess up until like the week of, because there was different management like changing and stuff, and
Yeah.
it was, we didn't really know what was going on until the week of. Things didn't really get promoted the way that we were told they were going to be promoted.
Mm-hmm.
And like it ended up being a great show. The Marquis Theater treated us so wonderful, and we had a great time with everybody. But it just like it was crazy, and everyone's like, "Oh, you just put on a show." And I was like, "There's a lot.
You don't know the stress that
There's a
went
lot
before
that goes in that." I was like, "You did not see me and my father getting ready to yell at each other out of frustration beforehand."
And for those you guys don't know, David Navarro is her dad, and he's the owner of Extend Magazine. If you guys got to see my interview,
He's the designer.
well, he's that designer for it, but he's the one that did my interview that came out last week. So thank you so much, David, and thank you so much for talking about her. That's how I heard about her, because he was telling me about it. So that was wonderful, because you have a beautiful voice. Well, you guys have a great chemistry, and that's what I've been looking at. That since they got here, they were really good together. So. What are your thoughts? Well, what were your thoughts when you met her?
Oh gosh.
Be honest.
I don't think I've ever been asked that question. That's a good question. I don't think
Good.
I've ever told you either.
No.
Well, I mean,
We
I
hear
met her
already.
through Youth on Record, and the first time I met her, she was on stage. She was singing. Our bassist of the band, he was the one who would play guitar for her
Oh, okay.
back then. So, I guess as a guitarist, I kind of like took her out the picture, and I was noticing what he was playing, because like to me, like he's an amazing musician. Jeff,
Oh,
our
gosh.
bassist,
He's insane.
Hello, Jeff.
incredible. Yeah, and so I was kind of paying more attention to him because he was doing a lot of really cool stuff. But there was one song. What song was that? I think it was. What's the Jessie Reyes song that you do?
Oh, Figures.
Figures.
I haven't done that one in ages.
Yeah. So when she sang that song, it's a song that's very voice driven, and it's pretty high, like on the scale. And I just remember I was like, wow, she has a really good voice, and that's the first impression I had of her was like, geez, like she can really just like shift your focus towards her. And
We were like,
That
oh,
was my
actually,
first stuff,
he has a
but-
singer.
yeah. I mean, as a musician, you listen to music a little
Yeah.
differently.
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I think, you've heard her sing. She's incredible, and she was just able to draw me in. And I was like, oh wow, like this is a whole act. Like it's not just, two people.
And then we ended up in a band together.
And then
Oh.
yeah, after that, I would only see her at shows. We played a lot of shows.
We play a lot of the same shows because we do a
Yeah.
lot of stuff for Youth on Record. Every so often they'd have like block parties that they would have, and then they do a really good job of getting young musicians different gigs so you can have
Okay.
experience, and so we'd always end up doing the same ones. So I think
Yeah.
we both of our bands played for UMS.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we played UMS the same year at the Emerging Artist stage at I think the Illegal Pete's on South Broadway.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
And so I think that was one of the last performances we both had with our bands. One of
Yeah.
the last.
Well, I had a few more after that. I wouldn't say it was like the last one for the band I was in. But yeah, we had a lot of shows, not necessarily together, but we played at the same
At
shows.
the same show. So
When
you
we
guys
were in
were
separate
always like on the
bands.
same
Yeah.
stage, just different bands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was always listening to her and stuff, and it wasn't really until Dave brought us together, and he was like, "Hey, she needs a
Yeah.
guitarist," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm down." I was like recently broken up with the band I was in, So I was like,
You
yeah,
were
I'm definitely.
heartbroken. You were heartbroken.
I mean, it was upsetting,
Yeah.
for sure.
How long were you with them?
I was with them for almost 2 years.
Oh wow,
So
that's
by
a
the
long
time we had-
relationship nowadays. Okay.
It is. It was.
Especially in bands.
Yeah,
Yes.
it lasted, and it was fun, but you know, things then were not so great, and so I was looking for a way to get back into music. I was actually doing a lot of solo stuff, and then that's when they was like, "Hey, why don't you work with her? She doesn't have a band. She needs something." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm down." I was like, and we worked really great together.
Yeah.
I mean, I like working with
Yeah,
Bailey.
I can see that.
It was difficult at first, but
Yeah.
we definitely have a really
Well, when
good
you're kind of like
respect now.
fresh, you learn like 10,000 songs, you know, by the
Yeah.
days. So.
Our poor drummer. So our drummer's in like 5 bands, I believe.
Oh my God.
No, three.
Three.
Sorry, it feels
Wow.
like 5.
Yeah,
And so
I'm
he
sure
has to
even
learn.
two.
He's learning all of our music, and then he's learned his other band's music, and so the poor guy, he does so good.
Oh, he's amazing, James.
And James, and then
Hello,
I'm pretty
James.
sure our bass player Jeff, same way. He's in multiple bands too, and I don't know how they do it. I can barely manage one.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that when you
I
were
forget my own
mentioning.
lyrics.
Well, good thing he can memorize
Yeah.
them, and you know you'll sing each other's verse. But when you're in a band, it is a lot of work just to keep the band together because there's so many personalities
Oh, yeah.
together. So even though they all have the one goal of making everything great, somebody has the ego higher than others, or there's the one that has like no ego whatsoever, but also no motivation, and he's that good of a player or whatever it is, and you have to be pushing the person all the time, and it gets tiring. So it is crazy. Like 2 years with somebody is actually a long time.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. It's a long relationship. But yeah, sometimes we were saying like COVID happened for a reason. Maybe that happened for a reason. The reason that to be that this was your destiny. To be together with her and.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would
Yeah.
say it definitely feels like it.
Yeah, it
I
definitely
mean,
worked out. Like we both got out of our bands at like the same time. It's definitely weird.
Yeah,
Like
it
a
just
university
everything just
thing.
kind of came together, really well, and it's been great. Honestly, I think the band we get along really great, and I don't know, I've never felt like that with another
Yeah.
band. So
And I mean, we just barely we switched around a couple things because for a while there we were a 4-piece. So it was me, my bass player Jeff, and then Freddie, and then Isaac was on drums. But then we brought in James, who's now on drums, and Isaac is now on guitar.
Okay.
And so-
now 2 guitarists. You have.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
we have
it's
two
his-
guitars.
it's his younger
so
brother.
Isaac, he's my
Yeah.
younger brother.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Yeah, so what's up,
Isaac?
Isaac? Me and Isaac, we grew up, playing instruments, so we know a lot of different kind of instruments.
So
we're
your
able to
family comes
jump
from
around.
musicians?
No, not really.
It was just
Our,
you.
yeah, we kind of started up. Our cousins who live in Mexico, they also started up in music. I don't know. it
Hello,
started-
cousins in Mexico. Hola, hola, hola.
Hola, hola. It started with our generation. Our parents, they weren't really musicians or anything. We just kind of picked it up, and we've been going since then. So we were able to jump around, and so yeah, my brother at first played drums in this band we were in, and now he plays guitar.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's pretty
jump
good.
around, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you're spending a lot of time away from your family. No, my family's here and on stage too. Well, that's pretty good. And Billy, what was your thought of him when you met him?
Okay, so when I met him,
It's your turn.
it was actually the same event. I had watched him and his band perform, and I just remember thinking that he makes the weirdest faces when he performs because he was like getting real into it. And at that point, it was so funny to me because like I was still like doing solo stuff, which is just me and my guitarist, and I still had super bad stage fright. So my stage face was just scared, and so I was like, that's awesome because he was like him and Isaac both were just like jamming out on stage, and
So
I
you
just
were
thought they
like
were
that,
so cool.
that expressions that they were making.
Yeah.
You were enjoying that they were enjoying it so much that they
Yes.
could express it. So you were kind of like, I want to do that.
Yeah, I didn't know how to do that yet because I was still so scared. I didn't look at the crowd. I'd make sure to look away.
You're like, can I wear this hat that kind of like when I go like
Yeah.
this covers my entire face, please? Wow. Well, that's so when when your dad told you, oh, you know what, I asked him to be with you, what were your thoughts? Like, I don't even know him,
I think at first I was like, David, why didn't you tell me first? And then I was like, whatever. And so we just went and did it. But I think for a moment there I was like, new people.
Because like you were saying, you were still a little bit afraid,
Yeah.
when you had your events and bringing new people that will like add to it, right?
Mhm.
And you probably were so used to your other guitarists that you probably were like, what if something comes out wrong?
Yeah.
Or we don't get along, how are we gonna work that out, especially when we're in front of a crowd?
Mhm.
Wow.
We kind of got thrown into it because it was the quick, like we had 1 week to learn everything, so it kind of just like that helped though, because we were just like we have to
You have to
do
do
it.
it. Yeah.
there's no time.
And like
for
you
it to be
said, you're
weird.
probably the only ones that noticed probably, that something wasn't, going right and stuff like
Mhm.
that, because that's how we are. We like ourselves are worst critics as well. But at the same time, we know when something goes wrong, and
Yeah.
and we hate, ourselves for it. But at the same time, it's like when nobody noticed it, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Like we did it, and we did good. We messed up, but we messed up really good. They noticed that.
We have a friend of ours that we're doing a song with. We already have one out with him. It's called Devil, but we were practicing our new one with him, and afterward he was like, "What'd you guys think?" And we were all like, "It was okay." And he was like, "That was great. What are you talking about?" And we're like, and we started listing what we did wrong. He's like, "I didn't hear any of that."
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the musicians, we kind of separated the band
Yeah.
and the musicians, I guess. But we can be picky.
Yes.
I mean, that's a slight.
Jeff more so. Jeff is real technical, and it's great for the band. But sometimes you're like, Jeff, stop.
It's like,
Stop it.
Just
You're like,
let us
you're
have fun
right,
for a
but
little
don't
bit.
say it.
And I mean, we all, I think, have a little Jeff in us, and
Yes.
Yeah.
so like we get along and everything in practice, and like she said, brother, he was like, wow, they sounded awesome, and we're like, it was good, I was like, I messed up with a few parts, but it was good, I gotta work this one part out still, but it's getting there, and yeah, like I said, I mean, Jeff keeps the band really tight
Yeah.
when it comes to the
He's
musical
really good with
aspect of
timing.
it, so
Oh, okay.
And
So-
I write in weird time signatures. So like our song "Come to the Water," it's interesting timing wise. And so when I first brought it to Freddie, he was like, "Oh, okay." And then we brought Jeff in, and Jeff was like, "Awesome, cool." And then he went in and helped us fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess like I was saying earlier, at first it was really hard to work with Bailey, especially on original stuff, because of
that.
Yeah. I don't
mean,
write with an instrument, so I have nothing
Yeah.
Yeah.
that like
It's all in
keeps
your
me.
mind, and
Yeah. So like, I mean, my writing style before I met Bailey was I come up with like the music first, the chord progression, all of that before I step in and start writing words, melodies,
Oh.
all of that.
I
And
think
with
that's
her-
harder.
And with her, it was the other way around. It was
Lyrics
just these
first.
a cappella voice memos that I
Yeah.
would get on my phone, and she was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
here's an a cappella version of the
Yeah.
song." I was like, "Put music into
Well,
it," and I
and-
was like, "All right."
Well, and I've learned because when I first started like really writing, I started writing with a bunch of different people just to learn, and so now I can actually write any way that's like people ask me if we go into a songwriting session, they're like, "Well, how do you prefer to write?" And I'm like, "Whatever you tell me, we'll do it." So normally it's me doing an acapella thing and being like here and making Freddie put like music to my weird vocalization. It's like, okay, this is guitar. Now I'm just making weird noises and he has to figure it out.
Oh, okay. That's
And then
guitar.
every so often, like with our Zoom call, Zoom call song, Sky is Falling. That one started with music,
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
so it's
Yeah, I think that's the first song we wrote the
With-
way I
yeah.
write music, so it felt really comfortable for me.
Uh-huh.
yeah, and
for
that
you,
one
but-
that one was for a 24-hour songwriting challenge. So
Oh, okay.
we banged that one out real quick because what was it? So we got it done in like 2-3 hours minus dinner break, and then it needed to be submitted by 10 the next morning, and so we had sent it to our guitar, or not our guitarist, our bass player, for him to convert it to the right thing, and then he just sent it back being like, yeah, sounds great. We're like, no, Jeff, we need you to convert it. What are you doing? And then we were rushing, and yeah.
And how did that go? How did the competition go?
It was good. So it was just for a compilation album.
Oh, okay.
It was just, and ours wasn't like the best quality sounding, because basically what we did was I had him and Isaac send me the guitar part that they'd recorded on their phone.
Okay.
And then I played that off my laptop and recorded my voice in my bathroom.
Oh, okay.
So it was like not the best like quality, but it sounded really cool, and it went on the compilation album. The compilation album, I think the money raised from it went to Metro Caring.
Oh, okay.
Or Metro Cares, I believe. And a ton of other artists ended up doing it. A couple of friends of mine ended up being on there as well. Obviously, they all, before quarantine, they've all had all their sound equipment and everything, so they have their own studios at home.
Yeah.
And we were like, we have a bathroom.
I think that's what happened. A lot of people, you know, like they start doing their own studios at the house just because they were spending so much time at their house now with the COVID.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I always thought I had more time before COVID. I was like, oh, I'll get home equipment eventually. And then COVID happened, and I'm like, wow, I should have bought that way before now. Because then I was at home, and I'm just like, I wish I had that equipment.
Well, you know, it all hit us like we were not expecting anything.
Yeah.
You know, we actually, I just remember my husband had to fly to, I think it was, can't remember if it was Illinois or Philadelphia, but to meet with his company. And when he came back, he's like, the big director of the company said that we should start like ordering big bags of beans and rice and stuff like that from Amazon and things like that. And I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, he said we're going into quarantine. I was like, that's like a movie thing. I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. And he's like, yeah, well, I don't know. He said that maybe by next week we're gonna be working from home. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I looked at him like he's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And he actually went into the computer and started ordering stuff. And 2 days later, we were quarantined. I was like, this is insane. Like,
That's
I couldn't
crazy.
believe
Yeah.
it. So. You couldn't, you know, you probably wouldn't expect that was gonna happen, and you know the equipment got put off. But yeah, it's a good thing that at least you guys are taking advantage of this time. And one of the things I was gonna ask you, how did you start singing? Like, how did you find out that you like singing? I mean, we all love singing, but one of the things is like not all of us have good voices. So that's
Well,
different.
I've always loved music, but also I was an annoying little kid that wanted attention. And the greatest, easiest way to do that is just start singing at people.
Smart. Instead of like making messes. You know?
Yeah. So I've always been a singer since I was little, and then I think the first time that I actually decided that I was like, oh, this would actually be fun to do as like a life career thing. I think I was 8, and I was part of a children's choir in a musical at UNC. So I think it was Josephine Technicolor Dreamcoat. And so I was in the children's choir during the summer for one of their shows, and I thought it was just so cool. And then from there, my dad has just been wonderful, and he's helped manage me and get me into places that'll help me become an artist, which is what I get to call myself now.
Yes.
So, I mean, a huge part of that was finding Youth on Record when I was in my early teens, and so from there it just kind of helped me grow.
Yeah, like you said, it helped you open up and become who you are right now.
Yeah.
And singing and actually showing your beautiful face to the people and not be hiding it. But it is different, and especially because you never get to see the same type of crowd. So it's different people all the time, and you don't know what to expect from them a lot of times. You know, sometimes they might love the music that you're playing, and sometimes they love some other type of music that you don't know, and they're like looking at you all weird, and you don't know if because you're singing bad or the music they're not liking.
There's definitely some interesting crowds that you can get, because sometimes we get the people that are like super duper vibing and are having the best time of their life, and then there are the people that will come up in the middle of your song and stop you and be like, you need to be playing more fun music. Like a lady came up to me during one of our sets, and she started talking to me. She's like, you need to play more fun music. This is too sad. And I was like, we have a set list, but sure. And I was just like, I just kind of tried to get her away from the stage, because I was like, why would you do that?
You know, there's a lot of people that I think that You know, like those memes where you kind of see these people they're saying like, I wonder how they have made it through life this far, you know. So there's this type of people, and I think
Yeah.
that lady was one of them.
Yeah, well, and I
Yeah.
think it's that people forget that like when you're performing, because it definitely is you put on like a persona, and so you're not always exactly the same person you normally are off stage. You're a little bit different.
Yes, yes.
I'm a lot more lively on stage. When I get off, I'm a little bit more reserved because I got anxiety.
Yes.
But I think people forget that the people that are on stage are people first, because they just automatically think of you as like, oh, you're an artist.
Mhm.
And so they think they can say whatever they want to you because you're just performing.
Exactly.
You're there to entertain them. And I think people forget that it's like, that's a person.
That's a person.
Like,
they have feelings.
If you're mean to them, they might go cry backstage, okay?
Yes, exactly. That's one of the things that I think people get used to when they see you up there. They see you a little bit different. They don't see you as a person anymore.
Mhm.
Once they know that you're in the entertainment industry, everything changes for them. I notice a lot of people how they change once they find. I mean, if they meet you and they're like, "Oh, you're cool and everything," and once they find out what you do, they totally change, either for the better or the worse.
Yeah.
But they'll change. It's like they don't stay the same. They don't treat you the same as they were treating you before.
Mhm.
And that's one of the problems I have with people. Trying to make them understand we're still the same. We're still simple people. That we still have feelings. That we still go through the same thing that you guys go through. And especially when they go and tell you, like, that the song you're playing is like actually not good.
Yeah.
So so that's pretty crazy. And so I'm gonna go back to you, Freddy, so you can speak some Spanish to us.
Sí, claro.
Y que nos digas un poco acerca de tu dueto con Bailey y cómo es que ustedes empezaron a tocar y cantar juntos.
Bueno, pues nosotros estamos en grupos separados
Ajá.
y casi como al mismo tiempo, hace 2 años es cuando ella dejó su grupo y yo también dejé el mío, y el papá de ella, Dave, fue el primero que nos introdujo, y así nos conocimos y empezamos a crear música. De hecho, cuando la conocí teníamos una semana para prepararnos para un dueto, y fue algo extraño trabajar con alguien nuevo, pero nos salió bien a la final. Y sí, cuando ya llevamos 2 años que hacemos música juntos y nos conocimos a través de Dave. Él es el que nos trajo juntos y después de que nuestros grupos se separaron.
¿Y la música que ella tocaba era parecida a la música que tú tocabas?
Algo. En el grupo que yo estaba tocamos rock alternativo,
Ajá.
más o menos,
Oh,
y
wow.
ella hacía muchos covers.
Okay.
Entonces ella cantaba muchas canciones de otra gente, y yo creo que ella todavía no encontraba más o menos lo que quería, su sonido, lo que sea. Y
Ajá.
pues la verdad yo tampoco. Pero a través de que ahora ya trabajamos juntos, ya llevamos 2 años, yo creo ya tenemos un sonido que sí tiene los aspectos de rock, a lo que pues me dedicaba yo más, a lo
Ajá.
que me interesa más, pero ella tiene, ¿cómo les diré? Es algo diferente.
Una mezcla,
Una mezcla, ajá.
Que lo hace único. Como
Sí.
decir, es su, como le dicen aquí, su niche, su
Ándale.
estilo.
Sí,
Tienen
sí.
su estilo.
Sí, tiene su estilo ella, entonces yo creo que ha creado una mezcla en la música que hacemos interesante, que a mí me encanta.
Que, o sea, la gente que pueda escucharlos diga, hey, ya reconozco ese tipo de mezcla, es el grupo. ¿Usted tiene nombre en el grupo o nada más es Bailey Elora y el grupo? O?
Es nada más Bailey Elora. Ella es el grupo, ella es la cara de todo.
De todo.
Y nosotros nada más hacemos la música y...
No es como que nada más, o sea, es algo muy importante. Si no fuera por todos ustedes que están haciendo la música, pues no hubiera tampoco cantante. Entonces es
Claro.
el grupo completo que está
Sí.
junto.
Sí.
Va, y cuéntanos, Freddy, ¿cómo ha sido todos estos 2 años con Bailey y con el grupo?
La verdad, me ha encantado. Este grupo que tenemos, yo creo que tenemos una relación en la que nos llevamos muy bien, y yo la verdad he sido parte de varios otros grupos y con ellos a veces sí se sentía más como trabajo. Con ellos sigue siendo trabajo,
Pero
se disfruta. Ajá, y tenemos, le digo, una relación entre todos que nos llevamos súper bien, entendemos, o sea, la dirección en la que nos queremos dirigir y todos estamos en la misma página y la neta es algo diferente porque nunca lo he experimentado de esta forma.
Como una familia,
Ajá,
más
sí,
o menos, o sea.
más o
Y luego
menos,
nos
sí.
estabas diciendo que tu hermanito también ahora es parte del grupo.
Sí, mi hermano es parte del grupo. Él cuando iniciamos el grupo completo, porque empezamos como dueto, era
Ajá.
nada más ella y yo, y cuando empezamos el grupo completo, trajimos un bajista que se llama Jeff, y mi hermano, que él entró en la batería, Isaac, él empezó en la batería, al principio y duramos así casi un año y medio, y recientemente agarramos a James, que ahora es el nuevo baterista de nosotros, y mi hermano ahora toca la guitarra, igual. Entonces él toca la guitarra rítmica y yo la lira. Entonces yo creo, al tener a mi hermano en el grupo, como ya nos entendemos y aprendimos música siempre juntos,
Ajá.
nos entendemos muy bien. Entonces a la hora de que estamos tratando de averiguar, bueno, pues, ¿qué estás haciendo tú en la guitarra? Para yo saber qué es lo que voy a hacer yo. Nos entendemos súper bien. Y con Jeff, desde el momento en que lo conocí, nos llevamos bien musicalmente y como le digo, él es un músico excepcional y nos mantiene muy a tiempo, muy, ¿cómo sería?
¿Cómo se dice? En ritmo.
En conjunto, muy en conjunto y en ritmo o sea, en lo que es en la música, el aspecto de lo musical.
Y ahí, como nos estaba diciendo Bailey, que ella desde que estaba chiquita le gustó mucho cantar porque le gustaba llamar la atención, que ya después ya le dio miedo llamar la atención enfrente de la gente donde tenía que dar la cara y todo eso, pero dice que fue mejorándose gracias a clases que ha tomado y cosas así. Y su papá, David Navarro, es el que le ha estado ayudando a ella también, y fue el que pues reunió juntos a estas dos talentosas personas también. Así que es un poco de la historia de ellos, de cómo ellos se juntaron y cómo están todavía juntos. Van a tener un concierto en línea que es el 21 de noviembre. November 21st, right?
November 21st, right? Is
El 21 de noviembre es en línea. Is there a website that they can go to? Are you going to share it?
We're going to have a link that people can donate to, but you can find the event on Facebook, on my Facebook page. We have an event page for it.
Okay. Entonces, el evento pueden ustedes verlo si la empiezan a seguir por Facebook. Ella está como Bailey Elora. Y va a poner ella también el link ahí donde pueden estar donando a ustedes dinero. Como les digo, esta es la única manera que ahorita pueden ustedes apoyar a todos los artistas, a todos los que nos encargamos en a trabajar en esto del entretenimiento, es con donaciones, porque los eventos pues están cancelados en estos momentos. Entonces no hay muchas cosas que podemos hacer nosotros más que las cosas en línea. Ellos van a estar ayudando a esta organización que es sin fines de lucro, que le ayudan a muchos jóvenes a empezar en la música, a grabar. Tienen el estudio abierto para ellos, para que puedan ellos ya empezar con ese talento, si lo traen, que lo puedan desarrollar. Y van a estar aceptando a donaciones. Van a poner el link ahí para eso, y también el link para que puedan ustedes ver el concierto en línea. Así que no se les olvide apoyarlos, por favor. Es algo muy bonito, lo que apenas me está dando cuenta que esta organización tiene 10 años aquí en Colorado y apenas me di cuenta de eso. Entonces todos aprendemos algo todos los días. So what else do you want the people to know about you guys?
I don't know.
We've covered most of it.
Yeah,
we're
have.
pretty simple.
What you see is what you get. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else happening in my life other than music. You know, I dedicate a lot of time into it, and it's my passion, and there's just not much else of me that doesn't involve music.
So do you have a Facebook page? You have an Instagram? What social media you have?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page also. It's Freddy Zamora. I go under Freddy for my artist name.
Okay, no está Alfredo ya, okay? It's Freddy.
Yeah, I also have an Instagram. It's Freddy_0214. If you wanna look me up, I do solo music in Spanish. I write my own music in Spanish as well. I'm actually, thanks to Dave, he's really been pushing me to work on the songs.
Pretty sure you're performing for the 21st.
I am
right?
performing also a solo Spanish set for that concert we're doing on the 21st. So you'll be able to hear the songs that I've been writing in Spanish, and I'm getting real close to having them done and recording them, and it's really all been thanks to Dave, who's pushing me like, hey, you gotta do something with the Spanish.
Well,
And I'm like,
sometimes,
yeah, I do.
It's just everybody right now is doing collaborations with Spanish-speaking artists. I mean, I put, one of the English stations and I hear J Balvin coming up, Ozuna,
Right.
all of them. There's like that combination.
Yeah.
So it is something that is like fashion, let's say right now. But at the same time, is something that even now, Asian.
Oh yeah,
Asian
the
people are
K-pop
doing.
groups
Yes.
are huge right now.
So they're mixing everything, all the languages, and that's something so beautiful because that's where like kids that are like little nowadays, they're hearing all these languages and they start actually learning even like to say hi, how are you, and thank you in different type of languages just because they are listening to the music and they want to know just a little bit of it. So that's wonderful. Congratulations and thank you, Dave, for doing that. That's a big thing, not just for our Hispanic community. It's also just somebody that we're proud of. A lot of people are not proud of speaking Spanish, and like I am, so I appreciate people that do as well. So thank you. And what about you? So if they want to hire you, they can just contact you directly for anything?
Yeah, they can. They can also contact Dave. He's
Dave Navarro.
Yeah, Dave Navarro. He takes care of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing, and
No wonder you take so long to answer my messages, Dave. Let me say that. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man, but yeah, you can contact me directly. On Facebook, Instagram. You can DM me, or through Dave. Like I said, even if you contact me, I'll probably be like, "Hey, Dave."
I'll be like, here, talk to Dave.
Like,
Actually,
I don't know what to do here.
I'm gonna go there because when I was trying to talk to her, I ended up talking to Dave. When I was talking to Dave, I ended up talking to her.
We try to make it so we both answer messages from the same account, but it never works out that way. Like I'll answer something and then he'll be like, "Oh hey, I answered this," and I was like, "No, I already answered that. What are you talking about?"
And then he gets like, okay, sometimes like the question just gets out there because
it's
like,
hard.
Yeah.
We try to have everybody be like, okay, if you want to make sure both of us see it, the email is the best. But then like if you need a quicker response, you gotta do different messaging, and it's.
Yeah, no, but I appreciate that when it's not one, it's the other one. So like I'll get it. So that's
There's always an answer. You just don't know who you're gonna get it from first.
Yeah, and what type of social media do you have that people can find you at?
I have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
YouTube, you guys have.
Yes,
YouTube.
we have YouTube. I think that's it. Oh, SoundCloud. I'm on TikTok. Not that. Those are just cringy videos. So
I do those too.
We're not gonna plug that one.
No, don't worry. I have those too. I actually sing on TikTok, so don't go there.
Yeah, but the best two to get a hold of me are my Instagram and then my Facebook. All of it is Bailey Olora. You can pretty much just Google it and you can find all my links.
Okay, and I saw some photos of you, Bailey, with dark hair. When did this blonde happen?
Quarantine? I think it was like towards the end of my self-quarantine. Nobody's mental health was great during quarantine because you're like cooped up, you're not going to see anybody. And like my entire family was essential workers too, so I was home alone all day long and I survived off of beans, rice, and ramen, and that was it. So I was like, I need a change. And so I went to one of my hairstylist friends and I was like, okay, I want to go blonde. And she was like, we can do that. And so we went blonde. And I was like, if it screws up my hair, it screws up my hair. It's my 20s. It's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you can always cut. You can always cut it. Like, look at me trying to let it grow, and every time I see somebody with short hair, I just want to shave my head off again.
See, I always want to do short hair, but I'm like, oh, I love long hair. But then I always get this urge. I'm like, I'm going to cut it. So, like, what am I doing later on this week? Cutting my hair.
But it always grows back.
It does.
So it is one of the things that they told me, how you get the guts to cut it? And I was like, I like the different looks. Like, I like changing, you know. And actually, I'm letting it grow because I like changing. Like, I was 2 years with short hair, so looking at my photos that they were like the same, you know, like you can change it, but not so much when it's short. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna let it grow. But it's at the stage that you kind of like.
Yeah. I've never experimented with dyeing it, so I was like, you know what, we're just gonna go for it.
Well, that's good. I mean,
So now
I
I
like
have-
the difference.
I have
too.
nothing but selfies of the blonde hair. All of my like professional cool looking photos, they're all from the dark blonde hair from February before quarantine kicked in.
Well,
And
Ricky, we have a new job for you. We need some professional photos
We
with
need
the
blonde
blonde
hair,
hair. But yeah, I mean, it is good. I mean, as an artist, we always have to change because people, you know, are looking at you all the time, and I think they like to see the different changes that they can see on yourself. And I'm gonna check real quick if Facebook let me see the messages. Comments that you guys have, because sometimes it doesn't let me see them. So see, it didn't let me see them. It's not letting me see them. Oh, there's some in there. Okay, Dan Kramer, thank you for watching us, my friend. Blessings and best wishes always, my friend. Thank you so much. Johnny, good afternoon. Thank you for watching us. Guillermo Gallegos, you like it? Thank you. We like it too, right? Thank you. Dusan, Sylvia, Dusan. Randy Ferreira, thank you so much. Hello, my love. Hello, how are you? Omar, saludos, un abrazo desde la Ciudad de México. Un besote hasta México. Omar, él era amigo de Pedro Infante.
Oh,
Sí, entonces Omar sabe de música y canta hermoso también. Así que muchas gracias, Omar, por estarnos viendo. Un besote. That's all that I can see because, you know, Facebook gets a little bit, I don't know, irritated when I read them or something. But, yeah, so we're going to close the show, guys, with a song.
Yes.
So
this is a special version of this song. We wrote this one during quarantine. This is our Zoom song.
Oh,
But
okay.
I told Freddie a week ago, I was like, hey, it'd be really cool if we had a bilingual version of it. And
she called him like 10 minutes before they went to church. So he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do that for you.
and he's a trooper, and he was like, yeah, sure. So he wrote a second verse for it in Spanish. So,
Yeah, so with you guys, there's Baby Laura and Freddie Zamora.
Sí, bueno, esta canción se llama The Sky is Falling. Se está cayendo el cielo.
Está cayendo el cielo.
Been chasing after you since we were 18. Just wanna hold you close, I don't look as a name. 'Cause you smell like roses and tangerine. And I don't know if I can do The sky is falling, so why can't we? Might not be love, but it could be. So why don't we see?
Bravo! So beautiful.
Thank you.
And I got the pleasure of listening to them when they were rehearsing, so I got to hear it twice. So just to rub it on your face. But no, thank you so much, guys, for making it. It was wonderful having you guys, especially because I know you guys are running and you know all the stuff with church. So I really appreciate it, and I just want to wish you guys the best. And you know, the office doors here are open for you guys, and when you guys had something going on.
Thank you so much
after
for having
quarantine,
us.
you know.
Thank you, Brianna. Gracias por
Yeah.
tenernos aquí.
No, un placer y muchísimas gracias, de verdad, fue un honor tenerlos aquí, especialmente el talento joven, el talento que están luchando para salir adelante a pesar de todo lo que estamos pasando en estos momentos. Es un honor para mí tenerlos aquí. Anything else that you guys would like to say to the audience before we leave?
No, pues gracias por vernos, gracias por estar aquí, por escuchar.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Thanks for watching. That's it.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you guys next Sunday. Next Sunday, I have a couple guests too, and they're gonna sing for us as well. So make sure you tune in so that way you guys can see the promos coming up next week. And thank you so much for choosing KUHS Denver Radio and TV Station, the stream. Y muchas gracias por estarnos acompañando una vez más aquí en Canciones de Domingo Concilia por KUHS Denver Radio y Televisión. Nos vemos el domingo que entra. Un besote, los amo. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego. Y aquí en el aire les ponemos más música, vamos a ponerles a Don Omar. Así que muchas gracias y nos vemos el domingo que entra.